Hi kids! Welcome to our lesson for today. So last time, remember we talked about how God sent down fire, and it was such a big fire. And even though Elijah had put all of this water on the altar and it was soaked, it was even overflowing, the fire still came and it burnt everything. It burnt out the sacrifice, the wood, the altar, even the water that was around the altar, it took and it burnt out everything. And then after that, Elijah said that all of the prophets of Baal need to be killed. And that is the only way that the worship of God would come back and the worship of Baal would end in all of Israel. So that is where we left off the story. So now let's see what happens next.
Okay, so now King Ahab was very shaken and very afraid, and he was just waiting to see what will Elijah say next. And then Elijah just turned to him and said, "Go home, eat and relax because it will soon rain." And remember, Elijah had given a prophecy to King Ahab that it was not going to rain in Israel for over 2 years
for more than 2 years.
Yes, for more than 2 years until Elijah said so. And now, just like that,
Elijah said, "It's going to rain."
Yeah, go home, it's going to rain. But it didn't look like it was going to rain.
And so Ahab went and he started preparing to get ready to leave. And then remember, on Mount Carmel, there were all of these people who had come to see the contest. And even them, they started going away quickly.
Yes, because Elijah told them to go home.
Go home, everyone. But Elijah and his servant went to the top of Mount Carmel. And there, Elijah knelt down and he prayed and he listened to what God was saying. Then Elijah told his servant, "Go and look towards the sea and tell me what you see."
And the servant came back and told Elijah, "I cannot see anything. There's nothing on the sky.
There's nothing. I can't see anything."
But Elijah said, "Go and check again." And the servant went and came back and said, I can't see anything.
There's nothing to see.
And then a third time, Elijah said, "Go again and come and tell me what you can see." And the servant kept coming back until the 6th time saying, "I cannot see anything." But now the 7th time, Elijah said, "Go again and check if you can see anything." And this time round, the servant came with a different message.
He said, "I can see something. I can see something." Out in the distance, far in the horizon, I can see a cloud. A tiny cloud. It's not even bigger than a man's hand, but I can see a cloud. And then Elijah told the servant, "Go and tell King Ahab to hurry if he wants to get out before he gets rained on," because the clouds were now forming. So then when the servant came and told King Ahab this, King Ahab listened because he had learned to trust that anything Elijah says is going to happen.
Everything Elijah said was happening. So when he said this, even though it didn't look like it was going to rain, King Ahab believed
and he started hurrying.
He gave orders for his chariots
to be brought, the horses
so that
to be
he can
ready.
Go back home.
And by this time, all of this was going on. The clouds began to gather and became more and more and more and more. And
they
now
become
the clouds
darker.
were thick and they were dark and there was wind blowing and there was so much wind blowing and now it was starting to rain. There was a heavy pouring of rain. And then Elijah, once he saw this, he became happy. And the strength of God filled Elijah. And now he was triumphant and he was happy. And now he was full of the strength of God.
He was full of the strength of God. So what Elijah did is he took his cloth and he tucked it into his belt, ready to run. And he started running. And he ran. But remember, it was 3 hours for you to get from Mount Carmel to get to where the palace was, where King Ahab was going.
Yes, King Ahab was going to the palace at
3 hours to get to
Jezreel. From Mount Carmel to Jezreel to take the horses. 3 hours with their chariots to get there. But Elijah ran.
He ran and he outdid the chariots. He actually ran.
He ran past the chariots.
Yes, because he was full of the strength of God. And when Elijah saw everything that God had done, he was very happy and he thanked God that he had proved himself to be God to the children of Israel and even to Ahab, who had started worshipping the idol gods and the gods of Baal.
And now there was rain in Israel.
And now there was rain in Israel. And so our lesson from these children, we learned that when God says something, he actually means it and he's going to do it. And for us, it's just to believe. Unlike the servant who kept on going and coming back saying, "I cannot see anything."
I cannot see anything.
He just needed a little bit of faith to see something, just like Elijah had seen when he was praying. Because when we believe in God, then we are able to see things that not normal, that we cannot just see with our normal eyes. And that's
Yes.
called the eyes of the Spirit. God opens our eyes of the Spirit, and we're able to see great things that we cannot see with just our physical eyes. So our part is to believe what God says and to act upon what God says.
Yes, so always believe what God says because it will always come true.
Yes.
So now it's time for us to sing our songs.
Yes,
Everyone stand up, and help us sing this song. It's time for us to sing our song. Now, we've just talked about how Elijah went up to the top of Mount Carmel and how he prayed and listened to God, and how God sent down all of this rain pouring down on all of Israel. Now, remember, there had been a drought for over 2 years, and now it's raining. So we're going to sing a song that says, whether it rains or whether it pours, I will trust you, Lord, because now it is raining and the people still need to be able to trust God. So everyone stand up and help us sing this song. Whether it rains, whether it pours, wherever I go, I will trust you, Lord, in the light of day or in the dark of night. I will trust you, Lord, with all my life. Whether it rains, whether it pours, wherever I go, I will trust you, Lord, in the light of day or in the dark of night. I will trust you, Lord, with all my life. For my hope is where you are. 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 Whether it rains, whether it pours, wherever I go, I will trust you, Lord, in the light of day or in the dark of night. I will trust you, Lord, with all my life. I will trust you, Lord, with all my life. I will trust you, Lord, with all my life. Yay! Okay, kids, it's time for us to do our craft. Now, we've just talked about how Elijah went up to the top of Mount Carmel and he prayed and he prayed and he prayed, and God sent down rain. So now there was rain in all of Israel after over 2 years of there being drought.
Yes.
So now we're going to create our craft. Now, for our craft, we're going to make a cloud and it's going to be pouring down rain. And this is going to remind us that Elijah went up and prayed for rain, and God sent down rain after Elijah had shown and proved to the people that God is the one true God.
Yes.
So what we have is we have mandala paper, which is a blue one because it's going to be raining today. We have ribbon, and this is going to help us represent our rain. We have pieces of raindrops, little raindrops, so that we can add that to our rain. And then we have cotton wool, and this is for our cloud. So let's start. So the first thing we need to do is we need to draw the outline shape of our cloud. So just take your pencil and draw a cloud. Okay, once you have your cloud drawn, next thing I want you to do is I want you to take your strips of ribbon and I want you to staple them onto your cloud, somewhere in the middle of your cloud. Once you have the ribbon stapled, oops, that one fell through. Let me staple that one again. Okay, so once you have your ribbon stapled, I need you to take glue and cotton wool, because now we need to fill in our cloud.
Yeah.
So I want you to take glue and I want you to spread it everywhere in the cloud. Even if it goes over the ribbon that you've just stapled, just spread the glue all over. Okay, once you have glue all over, the next thing we're going to do is now we're going to come and we're going to stick on the cotton wool. So what we did is we took cotton wool and we rolled the cotton wool into little balls.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to come and stick everywhere. So take the cotton wool and just stick it on top of where you've placed your glue. And make sure you go all the way around so we have a full cloud. Because remember, the clouds were big and they were thick because they were heavy, full of a lot of rain that God had sent to the people.
Yes.
Okay, once you have your cloud fully covered, I want you to now take your drops. Now, this mandala paper is going to represent raindrops for us. So I want you to take your raindrops and your stapler, and I want you to hang the raindrops all over on the ribbon. And this is going to represent rain falling down. So just take your stapler, staple on a raindrop onto a ribbon. So now we have rain falling. And there we go. Now we have rain, and the rain is pouring out from our cloud, and it even has raindrops, big, heavy drops. So the next thing I need you to do is I need you to write where this story came from, because we need to remember, first of all, what happened in this story, and then second of all, where this story came from. So on your paper, right above your cloud, I want you to find space and I want you to write, God sends down rain. And then after you write God sends down rain, the next thing you need to do is you need to write where this story is from. So it is found in 1 Kings chapter 18. So God sends down rain, and we find this story in 1 Kings chapter 18. And here we have beautiful rain that is falling down, and it's a lot, and it is heavy rain, and it's falling down from our clouds.
Yes. So hope you're able to do our craft today. You can ask for help, or you can even rewind the video so that you're able to do together with us. So that's our craft, reminds us of God's faithfulness and how God answered when Elijah prayed for rain and God sent down heavy rain. Okay, so that's our lesson today. Until next time, bye.